2, 1. All right, guys. First thing I do, Rob, is I go up on YouTube. I make sure we're streaming properly because what good is a show if other people can't hear us? So we'll do a sound check real quick on the fly. And it looks green. It looks good so far. And there goes our picture. We're out there. Hey, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I want to make sure we do a little sound check. I got my friend here with me today. And make sure you can hear me and as well as our guests. So can you hear me out there, people? Am I getting any love? And can you hear Adam Turner, Tom Lattice? Can you hear Rob?
What's up, peoples? How you doing today?
Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. I thought this was 9, though. They thought it was a nice show. No, we got a special time because Rob got to work tonight, so I'm bringing Rob in early, man, because we want him on the show. So, hey, Adam, can you hear Rob? Rob, say hello to the people one more time.
Hello, my family. How you doing today out there?
There you go. Yes, they can hear us.
Can you hear me?
Perfect, man. So we got a little clap going on. All right, guys. All right, so this right here is going to be a special presentation. I've been in contact with this young man, and we've been talking about politics and what's going on. And it's like, you know what, man, we need to open the platform up even more. You know, that's what I try to do. So today I have a person who has been out there stumping hard for the movement. He's been talking about revolution and politics on his channel, YouTube channel, and on Facebook, guys. I bring you today, my friend and yours, Rob TV. Give it up for Rob, man.
What's up? What's up? How's everybody doing today? What's up, Tim?
Hey,
the
man.
Doctor.
What's up, Rob?
How you doing,
friend?
sir?
I'm doing well. How you doing, my friend? Are you good?
I'm doing incredible, man. Doing incredible. Just excited about the future. Some people are not, but hey, you got to be positive. You got to think positive and believe things going to happen in your favor. If not, then you ain't got nowhere to go.
You got nowhere to go, man. You know, man, optimism. Hey, man, that's a good place to start, man. Like, so you're right. A lot of people are not very optimistic about the future, man. They look at what's happening right now. They're looking at Trump in office. They're looking at the condition of the Democratic Party, man, and they are just fit to be tied, man. So what do you tell people, man, to try to keep their motors running and keep them engaged?
Well, first of all, the Earth have an end. People thought the Earth was going to fall in if Trump became president. Well, he's president now, and there's nothing we can do about it. And unlike most people are on a witch hunt, I just want to make sure that policies that help people get enacted. And if there are policies that are going against the people, we need to stand up strong and push back against it. And but at the same time, you got to keep a level head. You got to find something to be positive about, even though it's a lot of negativity in the world. Find something in your scope of reality and just be excited about that. You know, so that's where I feel about that.
Yeah, man.
For us going forward in the future.
Hey, no doubt, man. I feel you on that. I mean, we have opportunities to build something. That's how I look at it. You know, like without there being like a challenge, people pretty much stay the same. And that was like one of my biggest fears about Hillary, man, was that if Hillary got in, nothing would change. People would go back to sleep. They would be fooled into thinking everything was all good and nothing to worry about. So it's horrible that it had to come to this, but I'd say one of the byproducts, man, is that we're awake. People are awake, man. What do you think?
Exactly. You know, I helped Obama out in the 2008 campaign and down there in the border of Virginia and North Carolina. So I put out signs in the ditches, had to run from armadillos, snakes, you name it, bears, trying to put these signs out. But I had optimism about hope and change, man. And we went out there and worked hard. And then here comes 2008. My man win. Everything was great for a couple of years. Then all of a sudden, wow, like somebody let the air out of the balloon. And I couldn't do it for him in 2012, man. I felt Obama became too corporate. He compromised too much. And even though everybody was getting on me because here a black man is denouncing another black man in the 2012 election and voting for a white woman, Jill Stein. I voted for Jill Stein. And I felt people felt like I betrayed them. They felt like I stabbed them in the back in the community. I was like, no, I'm awoke. And I went through my reasons why. First of all, he went in this thing saying that we need to have more transparency. We need to deal with the people on Wall Street. And he did not do not one thing to the people on Wall Street. High five them, give them a job in the White House, and in my book, in hopes to get speeches later on after he come out of office. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. In 2008, I hadn't like peeked behind the curtain yet. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't aware of everything that was happening with the Democratic Party or politics in general, man. Like, I looked at it like this would be great in the symbolism. I remember taking my daughter, her first time voting was in 2008. It was the first year my son, who's now 19, even knew what voting was, really. So it was a big deal. And historically, black folks pretty much looked at that as a big deal. But I think the whole country did. I mean, I know a lot of white folks who voted for Obama, man, who had high hopes. Like, they wanted to turn the chapter on racism. They had good beliefs. Like, they had a moral compass, man. Like, people want to move forward. They want to, a lot of people, by and large, not everybody, of course, but most people are good, generally speaking. I mean, as long as they don't have to lose anything, But so you
Right.
woke up. So that we woke up around the same time after those 2 years where Obama had the House and the Senate and didn't do shit with it. That's kind of like, did that do
You
it
got
for
that
you?
right. Yeah, I'm like, yo, you got all this political power. You got you got the same capital pretty much that Trump got right now. Let's get some work done while we can. No compromise, and let's just go for it. And even then, he compromised. I'm like, you got all the political collateral you need. You have the power. Use it. And one thing about Obama, I can say this: he's a likable guy.
Mm-hmm.
Just his demeanor and his professionalism and his, diplomatic attitude, it puts people to sleep. And all these things that he did while he was in office, most people don't even recognize it because they're so caught up in the image, and they're doing that right now with Trudeau in Canada with the image. Good-looking young man, sound great, everybody love him. He's a pop star, rock star, and don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And that's why during the elections, I was encouraging people, don't go by identity politics. You got to find out what's going on for checking their records, their stance in the past, present, and possible stance in the future. If not, you're going to make a grave mistake. That's why I could not vote for him in 2012. Much as I like him, much as I campaigned for him, I could not do it because here you are. You hold the political power. And one of the main things you didn't do is use that political power to apply leverage on those enact your policies. But yet at the same time, you would not even go campaign for the people who were running for office. Hillary, but he would not campaign for those people who were running for office to keep their seats in 2010. And that was a big issue with me. I'm like, where are you? You got Obama for America. Let's work for those people in office so they can maintain their office and hopefully get more seats where we can get a fill-proof majority where we can pretty much enact any policy that will help the people. And so that's why I have Obama too.
Gotcha. Do you have any other windows open on your computer right now? Because your audio getting a little choppy here and there. Just make sure the only thing you got up is Skype, if you could, Rob, just in case, man. But while you look, man, I'll say some stuff to that because I think you make some very good points, man. I agree with you. I think Obama is a prime example of what happens when people look at. I thought he was a good actor. Like Obama was a good actor, man. Like Hillary is not a good actor. But the policies, I believe, will be exactly the same pretty much. And that's the way the Democrats kind of roll, right. Man. It's just, once in a while they get lucky. They have someone who can play the game and look the part, and that's what works for them. That's what happened with Bill Clinton. But I want to get a little bit more pointing on this, man, because as I know we have some things in common because we're both black guys. We're talking about politics. We have a following on social media and we have shows and stuff. Does it ever bother you, man, that some of the other, like the celebrities, dude, that keep on pushing how great Obama was, like we just lost something so amazing for the country, for the black community, and for the country at large? Does that ever bother you like it bothers me?
When I hear the celebrities talk about it, when I hear my own family talk about it, it really gets me.
But your family, your family might
okay,
not know stuff. I mean, like, look. Let me not mince words. I'm talking about like D.L. Hughley, man, that guy. Those, you know what I'm saying? Like these guys, he has to know better.
Right. Well, look, to tell you the truth, all these celebrities was on a Obama bandwagon, and they talked about how great he was, and we're never going to get another one like him, and we need to hate Trump because all he's trying to do is crap on his legacy, so to speak. And I'm trying to figure out where's the legacy. I mean, if you want to talk about the Affordable Care Act, that was a right-wing strategic plan for health care that he adopted to appease to the Republicans. So they weren't going to go for ours. Maybe I'll give them mine and Jedi mind trick them into jumping on this when it's really pretty much Romney care. So if that's your legacy, you have the opportunity to go over and above. We had opportunity to go full single payer, long as if we applied the political capital that we had at that time. Mm-hmm. And and that's one thing. I guess that's the difference we're gonna see between Trump and Obama is if Trump got some political capital, he gonna use it. Obama, he's gonna compromise.
Right.
Because he don't want to make enemies.
Yeah, it's like
they want to make friends.
They make all these excuses, Rob, for like you said in the beginning, bro. You said it. You said that in the beginning of Obama's administration, he had just as much clout. He had just as much, maybe more, because he won by more. And he had just as much the House and Senate, just like Trump. But look at all the crap that Trump's getting done that Obama didn't get done, and we still have people making excuses for it. Like, I don't want to make it the whole conversation, but man, people really need to wake up, man. Like, it's easy for them to call you a coon or a sellout or me a coon and a sellout. They're going to have to call both of us that because we both realize the same thing that, nah, man, he got done what he wanted to get done. Stop believing the myth that the poor guy just had the whole world against him and he couldn't do anything. And he's just, he would have done everything if he just could, Rob. He would have helped everybody. He would have came up with better policies, but he just couldn't. You can't expect him to do anything as president. I'm like, well, what's the point of having a president if the whole time you can't hold him accountable for nothing? To even question him is a sellout or a bigot or a racist, to even question what he does. I mean, do you realize how much damage a person can do if you can't even question what they do?
Right. Right. I mean, that's fascism. Right. I wish you would question Adolf Hitler. I mean, that's one of the great things about our country. We should be able to call our politicians to the carpet. I mean, I could think about the many things. I'm here in New York City, man. We're on the verge of getting single payer. And the reason we didn't get it last year is because a few people in the IDC, the Independent Democratic Caucus, decided to vote against the people's will. People like Joe Klein and all of them. And I had an opportunity to work with Joe Klein. I do identity theft workshops in the community on my free time. So I had a chance to work with some of these politicians. And then when I go to Albany and I see this guy's voting against his constituents, and I know majority of his constituents are under that poverty line where even Obamacare wasn't good enough. And all we need, like for an example, it passed again this year, and all we need is 2 votes in Governor Cuomo's signature. We can count on Cuomo's signature, but these other 2 people we need to get to Cuomo, because Cuomo will run for president in 2020. Whether people like it or not, he's going to run, and he can say, I did $15 an hour. I did no-cost education, community college education from the cradle to the grave. I did health care. He can tout that. And see, if Obama would have had that mindset that if I can use whatever leverage I can, apply the pressure on these politicians, because he had it. The same look, Bernie is doing it. Bernie is calling them out at their meetings, saying, look, sitting with Tom, sitting next to him saying we need to do this, primarying people. But see, Obama could have did the same thing, apply that pressure on the Republicans and any other Democrats that didn't want to do this to make sure we got single health care. Now they're saying it's imagination. It's a figment of, well, at least that's what Hillary said during the campaign.
Right, man. Look, man, good points, man. But you kind of opened the hornet's nest of Bernie Sanders, man. So, yeah, man, let's talk about him, because I know people got strong opinions. And, what do you think, man? Like, I hear people saying that Bernie Sanders is a sheepdog, that Bernie Sanders is, that he's not what he used to be. He ain't what he used to be. What do you think about Bernie Sanders, man?
I started off watching you, and I even see during the primaries, and watching you inspire and encourage Bernie Sanders supporters is what I was doing out on the street or in my community. And one day I got mad and I just couldn't take it no more, and I just went on a rant on the microphone, and I said, hey, maybe I need to do this more, because a lot of people was thanking me, just like they do you, for the pep talk and keeping us encouraged. So I started Bob TV. Now, Bob TV didn't stand for Rob at the time. Bob stand for Bernie or Bust TV.
And give it up for that, Bernie or Bust TV, man. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, good play on words, bro.
And I was, and I was on that Bernie or Bust movement. I wasn't voting for nobody. I definitely, I pretty much sold out. I made my stance. I wasn't. I tell you the truth, Tim, corporate politicians records and how they can care less about us, it makes me sick in my stomach. So there's no way in the world that I would default vote, which most people think we should do, default vote to Hillary Clinton if Bernie lose. No, I voted for Bernie, even joined the party, because I was an independent. In New York, by being a closed primary, I had to change parties to vote for Bernie. So something I didn't want to do. Something a lot of people are talking about right now, that I would never, ever join the Democratic Party again. But me, I joined the Democratic Party because I wanted a progressive who had a chance to win, to give them that shot. And that's the reason why I voted for Bernie Sanders as a Democrat, because I had no choice. It was an open primary, which we are working on, making New York an open primary, getting a fight on it, but we are working on it. And my whole thing is, look, I'm in this movement with you. You encourage me, I encourage you. And as we got more people encouraging people together, I began to take your lead, and I said, man, let me help Tim out and encourage people and let people know what's really going on, because a lot of people don't know. A lot of people don't check the voting records. A lot of people don't know the stance of their politician, don't even know the stance of their local politician. And it's up to us to kind of open their eyes about what's going on locally and nationally. And that's how I got involved with media, is watching you, watching HA, and, at the time watching TYT, and a whole lot of people that was out there just telling the news story and, unveiling what was going on through the Democratic process for the primaries. And ever since then, it's just something I feel like I didn't see this as a seasonal thing. There's elections going on every year. And our whole goal is we want America that's going to better the people. So even though people call Bernie a seller, I feel sometimes that's my only problem with Bernie, is I feel like he's sheepdogging. But then I try to look at his conversation. I never really heard him say, join me in the Democratic Party. Have you heard that? I never heard that. Have you heard him say, I need people to join the Democratic Party?
No, I have not heard him say that, but that's sort of like the implication, I think, is that, we're trying to reform it. We want to make it better so that you can join it. Like, you know what I'm saying? But you're right. He does try to walk that line. Look, man, Bernie Sanders is a politician. I never say, that's what he is, man. Like, people need to accept that. I never, in the beginning, yes, like, I would have never covered politics if it wasn't for my viewers, because I was talking about issues. Like, that's all I talked about was issues on my channel, Rob. So my viewers were like, Tim, you should start talking about politics. And I really wasn't interested. Man, after Obama, I was like, man, I'm not interested in this stuff. I'm more interested in us uniting around issues and fighting, climate change, fighting, environmental problems like our water and our air and contaminants in our food, fighting police brutality, fighting criminal justice system that I feel is racist and bigoted and antiquated, and the drug laws, and like all these different issues. Dude, that's what I was on, and my viewers got me involved, and they alerted me to Bernie. And a lot of policies that I was talking about, that I was fighting for on my channel for years, he happened to be the only politician that was actually addressing those issues. Like, no one else, none of the Republicans were talking about water or air, fracking, police brutality, mass incarceration, getting rid of the drug laws. Like, no one else but Bernie. So like, I think some people so some people have been involved in that type of politics their whole lives, and they had a different point of view. Mine was, well, it was sort of a no-brainer. You got one guy talking about these issues, and at the time, sadly to say, man, I didn't know who Jill Stein was. I didn't find out who Jill Stein was until later. That was sort of like my trip into politics, like, then I got to Jill, and then I met Jill. So it was once Bernie, through his support behind Hillary, it was natural for me to go towards Jill, because her platform was very similar, even if not more to the left, as you know, right? So met her a couple times, met Ajamu, and it was like a wrap. I was like, this is the way to go. So that was for me, Do people criticize you because you don't make like a bunch of Bernie diss videos or trash Bernie videos?
Well, I say a couple things about Bernie, mainly about this sheepdogging thing, and me trying to tell him you need to get out. But I do get some people that push back on me. It's like, if you say one thing about Bernie, it's done. I'm unsubscribing. Well, I tell them in there, I didn't get in this for subscribers. I didn't get in this for Patreon. I got in this for the love of the people, just like you. I care about you. I don't worry about that. I had a girl said today that I look like a pimp on one of my videos because I had a tan suit on. I say I'd rather look like a pimp than be pimp, because that's what's going on. You trying to, cause
the Democrats are the pimps. The Democrat Party are the pimps. You can't see me, Rob, but I got up a pimp cane. Where's my voters? Where's my voters? You better get them votes out here. Get them votes out here.
They try to pimp Bernie out. They try to pimp Bernie out of his donors list and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going for the pimp game. Number one, I've been a Republican. I've been a Democrat. I do vote strategically. If I see somebody in the Democratic Party that I believe deserve to be in that position, it doesn't matter about the D. It matters about their beliefs. If they're a true progressive and they're pushing progressive policy and they got a chance to win, I'm going to put that person in. I don't care about partyism and all that kind of stuff. I voted green. That's how I voted in New York. I voted for Jill Stein, Jamu Baraka. I voted for Robin Levine. I do not like Chuck Schumer. So I voted for Robin Levine of the Green Party. But yet there are local people that I know and love that I work with one-on-one that I voted into office, Sepulveda, Diaz, here in New York City, because of what they do for the community. So I'm not a party dude. Now I want to go back to what you were saying about the coon thing. This is what I tell every black man from the baby on up. As long as you got black skin, you are a coon to a racist. So don't get comfortable calling people coons. That's why I have to watch myself, because it want to come out, especially dealing with the CBC. It want to come out, but I stop it and say, I'm a coon to racist. So I can't call nobody that. But back on the Democratic Party, and right now, Tim, I think the only way we can really move forward as a progressive unit is take off the party hats. I mean, I wish we can do like Jeremy Corbyn in the UK and have a manifesto and tell people that if you want our vote, you gotta support this manifesto. From what I know, he got everybody running on that manifesto, and you're not going to get them votes unless you're running on that manifesto. And somehow, some way, and Jamal, who I call another professor with the click pen, and when Jamal get the clicking, boy, some stuff about to come out. He started talking
Jamal
about
Thomas.
It.
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
Jamal. Yeah, Jamal.
Shout out to Jamal.
No doubt, man. No doubt to the progressive soapbox, man. That guy's really doing some stuff,
That's
man.
right.
Yeah.
Yes, he is. And when he put out that pen, man, he started talking about, we got to, like you said, come together. It can be around the issues, but the politics have to take a look at the issues that the American people are facing. And if you want our vote, I mean, you got to support these things, man. Or why do you think you should get my vote?
Right. Absolutely, man.
And people say, well, if you got a default vote, I ain't got a default nothing. My ancestors did not die for me to vote foolishness either.
Right.
Yet he died for us an opportunity to vote, but they didn't die for us to vote for crap.
A lot right.
I'm
like
not a.
Well, let me ask you this, man. So, with all the Russia talk that's going on, man, Rob, I see. Do you think that the Russia issue is something that people in your community, so like in New York, people that you associate with, are they concerned with that? What's the temperature on the ground with people?
I don't even know nobody talking about Russia. Not in my neighborhood. I live in the Bronx, and nobody's talking about Russia. They talking about the Metro card fares too high, and how we need to pass a law to give people who's making $30,000 under at least a reduced Metro card, because they can't really afford it because the rent is too damn high. Shout out to the rent too damn high party out there.
Too damn high.
And people are, Obamacare. I mean, we're one of those states that we can't play with health care. I mean, they had good health care before Obamacare came, but when it did finally get passed and introduced, these central plans are to New Yorkers, and live and die by that. So they don't want to, they're more concerned about the issues of the community more than anything. We got ICE out here in huge numbers, locking people up and sending them overseas. Doing checkpoint stops down in Brooklyn, down in certain parts in Harlem, just stopping people and locking them up. So those are the issues that people are talking about. They could care less about Russia. If Russia, which I know they didn't do it, if they unveil to us crookedness in our own government, my hat's off to them. And we should do the same thing if we can unveil crookedness to their government. I think their people will be happy for us doing that. So I have no problem with Russia, and people around here are not talking about Russia. How about over there where you at?
No, man. No one's talking about Russia. We're talking about rushing to get these jobs. Like, they're rushing to get jobs.
That's right.
We got people rushing to try to keep some health insurance and trying to pay those bills, man. Like, just trying to stay indoors, live indoors, and not live outside in the elements, and to try to keep the heat on and the air on, man. And if anything, they're concerned with some of the cuts that Trump. I don't think Trump's budget plan will pass, but people are concerned about that once they hear about it, So I think the Democratic Party, I think it's all strategic, Rob, where they want to focus on these issues that are non-issues. And it keeps people off of looking at the real problems that they have. I mean, did you hear that I heard this today, man. Well, I heard it before, but I heard it again today. Maxine Waters been in the Congress for almost 30 years, and she's only passed 3 pieces of legislation.
Tim, I was going to about these people who are, screaming out Russia or screaming against Bernie, because they still don't want Bernie. They don't. They hate Bernie guts, and I tell people that's what I was going to title. What have you done for us lately? And I was going to look and find out what have they done. Just like you said, Maxine, 3 decades.
3 decades, bro.
What have you done? But yet you want to stand up there up front and holler impeachment and put somebody down as if you were a great legislator. What have you done? I can at least talk about Bernie amendments. What have you done?
Right.
What have you done? And people really get on me for this one, because I met him one on one and asked him, what have you done, John Lewis, over here at the Schomburg.
What did he
have you
say?
done?
What did he say? Did he
Since the
respond
civil
to you?
rights movement. Walked off.
He said the civil
He
rights
answer
movement.
my question.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He said the civil rights movement
done?
like it was him.
Yeah. What have you done since the civil rights movement?
Okay.
What have you done? But yet you're gonna go out here and call somebody a racist, and then you're gonna campaign for Hillary Clinton. Yet at this and campaign for David Wasserman Schultz. Yet you couldn't even give your support to your fellow civil rights brother Bernie Sanders during that time. So a lot of these politicians. Yes, sir.
Yeah. No, great. I mean, I'm glad you asked him a question. I'm sorry he didn't answer you with anything specific. He didn't have to answer us. Who are we? Just the people that pay the bills, pay a salary, keep him in office. That's all we are. But that's politics, man. Do you, as we I look at people like Nina Turner, and I look at how she tries to walk the line, bro. Like she speaks the truth, but she's also trying to be like, look, guys, some people do believe the Democratic Party can be reformed. What do you think?
I believe anything is possible if you got a great plan. The Labor Party was not in that position, but Jeremy, and I'm still doing study on this. Jeremy Corbyn is reforming the Labor Party. And it looked like if he win it, he's going to do some serious reformation to that area of the world. So is it possible to reform the Democratic Party? This is the way I look at it. Most of the leaderships are trying their best to hold on to that party. That party is tightly going to the left, whether they like it or not. They're trying to strong arm it into staying in the center. And that's why these leaders like Pelosi and Schumer and Feinstein and are trying to hold on. These guys are getting older, and they're not going to, sooner or later they have to retire. They're not going to be, Jimmy Dore said it. I mean, can Nancy Pelosi, you sure she don't have an issue going on physically? These people, I think they're trying to fight so hard, the old guard, to hold on and not allow the new guard to take over. But I believe that if with the right strategy and plan, if we can really do something about the way the Democratic Party hold their primaries, like Bernie in that platform that he had, he pushed open primaries. Mm-hmm. If there can be some systemic changes in the Democratic Party's platform, it's possible. But until there's change in that platform enacted, and it's enacted, it's still going to be hard. It's still going to be hard. I think it starts there. If they can change the way people vote, if they can make it fairer, then you have a chance for more progressives to take over the Democratic Party. I'm with Debbie on this. If that process doesn't change, it's going to be hard. Not saying it's impossible, but it's going to be hard to take over the Democratic Party. The only way you can take over it is, to me, again, progressives have to take off their party hats, number one, and come together as a voting bloc, similar to what Dr. King did with Johnson, and make a demand and say, hey, if you don't give us this, you're not getting our votes. I'm not giving it to you.
Yeah, you got to be willing not to vote for them, man. You definitely got to be willing to hold your vote and spend it on someone or some party that has your best interest at heart, man. Let's shift gears a little bit, man, see, because I don't know if you've been covering, because I've been so busy, man, to be honest. You may have covered it. Do you have any opinions about the Seth Rich investigations or Sean Lucas' death or anything along the lines of that, the DNC fraud lawsuit? What's your take on any of those issues?
Hey, Tim, I'm really getting into this right now. I just saw the video with Mr. Webb and the other guy, Goodman, up here in New York, and they was talking about the trail with the car thieves and the Naan brothers and some guy here that may be part of Boko Haram, that's stealing cars and how they believe he killed Seth. I mean, it's a whole lot to it, man. We got some real movie style Elizabeth Pope, scandal type stuff going on. And for me, I can't say that this is a conspiracy. We hire people as mercenaries to go in and take people out in power. We hire people as mercenary to go in and get people out of jails in other countries. So why we wouldn't think that there's not that kind of power, or what, as Scandal would say, B16 power. He actually gave a number to it, similar to B16, like M13 or something. It's like some type of organized crime gang that goes from Pakistan all the way down to Nigeria, or is it Nigeria, some African country. And so, like I said, I'm taking this stuff in, trying to put it in order, because these two guys, I don't really need to talk too much about it. I normally refer people to go watch that stuff, but I do not think it's not. I do not believe that these things do not happen. I mean, we don't know what really happened with Dr. King. We don't know what really happened to Malcolm X. We just got the end result of what happened, or what they said happened. Right. We don't know what led up to that. I mean, if everybody listened to the FBI tapes on Malcolm X, you could see how it was trying their best to get Malcolm X to turn his back on Elijah Muhammad. I mean, we don't know. And then you got Debbie Wasserman Schultz threatening the Capitol Police with repercussion. Man, first of all, I would have told her someone. I would have told her something. I told her what Kevin Hart told his teacher.
What did he tell him?
You remember that Kevin Hart told remember what Kevon Hart told his teacher on that skit? Mind your damn business. Mind your mother. Yeah, that's one of the best Kevin Hart's. Yeah. Now, matter of fact, man. And you know what? You're right, man. I'm always surprised at the people who don't think America could do that. Like, they're like, there's no way America could kill people. Like, and look, and what they try to do is they try to false flag it, where what they do is they say that the assumption or the assertion is that we think Hillary Clinton had something to do with Seth Rich's murder. And that's not, no one's saying Hillary Clinton's running down the street with a Beretta taking out people or a Ruger. Like, no one's saying that. No one's saying that Debbie Wasserman Schultz did something to Sean Lucas. Like she personally, no. But we're saying is that if you mess with the bear, something can happen to you. And we're having too many coincidences where people surrounding the DNC, this lawsuit, things have been happening. We have a young man, Barrington Wisenant, down in Florida, who ends up dead in a suit. Now, I don't know about you, but people don't go to the beach in a suit to commit suicide, yeah.
and to keep their wallet, the keys. He had a wife, man. He had kids. Who takes all their belongings to commit suicide? Who does that? So when we say this doesn't make sense, and this is, and he was working on the visas, and there's a connection there. I mean, to ponder this type of information, I don't think is beyond the pale, nor do I think it's ludicrous, man. I think we live in a country where you should think about these things.
Right. I mean, to be on a suit in Hollywood. I mean, I know Hollywood Beach. I'm from Florida, so Hollywood Beach is not. It's a pretty predominant area. But for him to rise and be on a beach with a suit on.
Really? Don't forget the gunshot or the blunt object to the head there, Rob. Like, who kills himself by hitting themselves in the back of the head? Who does that? So obviously the man was murdered, and let's find out who did it. Let's find out who did it. That's all.
Right, and how you say another person who's going to testify had a heart attack, but then you said all of a sudden the weights fell on his stove. I mean, and we got to admit to it, even though it's a conspiracy theory about the clean kill list, you got to admit there's too many deaths tied up to that campaign. Too many. I'm not saying he did it.
Yeah, you're right. We're not saying he did it. Right, it's a list of them. Hey, Rob, if I was connected to that many deaths, they would have been came got me.
Me too. If we looked like we were connected to one.
To one. Heck, man.
We would have been.
I just covered the Sean Lucas case. I want to get people a refresher on Sean Lucas. They found 3 different types of heavy opiate type pharmaceuticals or chemicals in his bloodstream, in his bedroom or in his bathroom. And the dude had no history of taking drugs. And it was a month after he served the paperwork. I mean, come on, guys. Like, what kind of detectives are working these cases? You know?
And I saw that video, and my man was excited to serve them papers. Yeah. He was excited. Yeah. He thought he was doing a good service to this country.
Right.
And I heard they work. And not just him, but can't think of the other person. The ones that you talked to him, the one with the DNC lawsuit, he worked for them?
Yeah.
Did he work under them?
Yeah, he was the process server for the actual court case. So he served Debbie Wasserman Schultz and the DNC with their paperwork to appear in court. And a month later, he's dead. So, yeah, like people
and she run around with like a chicken with her head off, trying her best to muscle the police about some laptop. Right. And trying to grill him, and the man done told her over and over again. He was paraphrasing. This has nothing to do with the person who owns it. If we feel the laptop is part of the investigation, we have the right to keep the laptop. It has nothing to do with who owned the laptop. So they're trying to cover they're trying their best. I don't know what's going on, but they're scrambling around scared. And something is to this. The whole point is there was a man who got shot twice, spoke with his girlfriend before he got off the phone, and he's not there no more. And I saw the video of the family. They said they didn't want to politicize maybe, but they didn't say they didn't want this to stop. The video said they appreciate the support. They want to find the killer.
Absolutely.
That's the whole point. They want to find out what happened to their son. Look, I'm a single father who lost a son. It wasn't by a gunshot. Any way you lose your son, it hurts. So I can imagine what they're going through knowing their son, who actually grew up to be an important figure and doing something great for this country, that there's a possibility that, no possibility that he was killed, and nobody's really trying to find out who. The DNC is not interested in finding out who killed him. They're interested in finding out if this could be stopped.
And just to agree with you 100%, but also to say that, like I said in the beginning, that's really all I did on my channel was cover cases and cover issues and cover, these types of situations. And I've never, from Tamir Rice to, Andy Lopez, who was a young man who was killed in a similar fashion as Tamir Rice in California with a toy gun, to the white, I think his name was Mr. Peterson in Kentucky. I think it was Kentucky, where the cops did a no-knock raid and got the wrong house and ended up killing him on the porch of his own camper. Like, no person, absolutely not a single solitary person has ever, and I've done 50-plus different stories about victims, and none of them have ever said, Tim, please stop talking about us and take your video down and don't talk about our situation. That has never happened. Never happened. But for some reason, when I talk about Seth Rich, people say you shouldn't talk about it. And like I said, that's strange. And I just think that people need to check themselves. Like, why are you, like, you didn't have a problem when I talked about Tamir Rice. You have a problem when I, talked about Terrence Crutcher. So I should be able to talk about this in the same amount of, like, what is this rule that, we're now politicizing it? No, the Democratic Party politicized Seth Rich on the campaign trail when Hillary Clinton brought up his death as a way to hammer home gun control. Like, she did that. No, that's politicizing. It's politicizing when you take the mothers of slain youth and young people, or Eric Garner's, widow, and Tamir Rice's mom, or whatever, on the campaign trail with you. Like, that's the epitome of politicizing death. But there's no pushback for that.
Right.
So that's why this even seems more creepy. Like, there's more to it, man, when they only complain now. Like, now is the issue. Oh, Tim, you're using this, whatever, man. You just want to be a part of this.
It can't help but be politicized.
Mm-hmm. Well, look, Rob, man.
It can't help but be politicized.
Yeah, it can't be.
You got evidence that this has a possibility leading back to a leak that could have came from a political party, channeling from him to WikiLeaks, a possibility. So you can't help but make it a political issue. It's not like you said on the campaign trail, politicizing, like me and Michelle Obama when she talked about sexism and Donald Trump. I was so mad when she did that. I'm like, you could have did that on the White House grounds. You're gonna go on behind a Clinton podium talking about sexism? Get out of here! Don't you know Clinton was known for sexism?
I guess
Bill
not.
Clinton, you were in the wrong spot to be talking about that.
Hey, look, Rob, man, this has been a great conversation. It's just been too short, man. Before you go, my friend, please tell everyone where to go to find out more about your stuff and where to follow you.
First of all, I want to get a shout out to Sandy Shows. I said I was going to mention her up here. She taught me a lot. She's teaching me a lot about environmental protection. So I'll be doing a little more stuff on that, and probably getting with her and her husband doing some stuff up north and New York. But yeah, I like this. I've been working on the website. It's Bob TV. No, it's Robert Brown International. Weebly.com. So it's, brother got a budget. So it's one of them cheap sites for now. So that's Robert Brown International .weebly.com. You can reach me there. I have the Bob TV Facebook group. You can reach me there too. And hey, hit me up on Facebook, period, Robert Bernard Brown or Robert Bob TV Brown, and you can get in contact with me there. And it's an honor to be on your show. You had some legends on your show, and I feel so humbled to be talking to a legend himself. And yourself,
Stop,
Mr.
man.
Tim Black.
Stop,
Appreciate
man.
it.
Stop it, man. dude, we just look, man. It's, you know what it is. It's the people. That's it.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Right. You keep doing what you're doing. Look, guys, go see Robert TV Brown on YouTube, Robert TV on Facebook. If you get to him in one place, I'm sure he has links to everything else. You don't need to remember URLs. If you go find him on Facebook, he's going to have a link for you to click on that'll take you to everything else. And Rob, man, you just keep doing it, man. I think people can tell you're authentic. People can tell you're sincere. You're sincere. And that's all that matters. The rest, everything else comes. Just be real. Keep it. Don't change, man. I love you. We all love you, man. Thank you for your voice and your commitment to the people, man. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend and yours, Rob of Bob TV. Give it up for him, man. Go subscribe.
Nice talking to you guys.
You got it, man. Thank you once again, Rob. We'll be talking, man. I'll be in touch, brother. You can count on that.
All right.
Guys, so thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. I know it was an impromptu type of thing, but Rob has to go to work, man. He has to leave, like, right now. And that was the only, is the only constraint we had on the conversation. We're going to talk about everything and anything that comes up and things we care about. But at 6:30, my man has to go keep the bills, pay the bills. So I appreciate you guys, man. Thanks to you once again, everybody. Wolfpack, Tim Black's Wolfpack, man. Like I said, it's all about the people. It's all about touching lives and pushing the conversation forward. I was based on issues. That's what I covered, and so did Rob, man. It's a great thing. I see you guys in a couple hours. It's going to be a busy day for TBTV, but you know what? I'm glad, man. I'm happy to have the platform. I see you soon. Like we always say, don't let nobody take your cornbread. Shout out to Rob TV, guys. Go subscribe to him. Let's show him. We can show him some love. Let's get him some more subscribers over there. Everyone has a voice. And remember, you can call in tonight on the show, 319-527-6212. You can call in tonight and get in on the conversation yourself. Because that's what media is all about in 2017. Peace, y'all.
Tim Black. Tim Black. Tim Black. Yes, I am. True. Funny. Tim Black. I am TimBlack.com. Tim Black.